What's up, guys? I'm Sterling Bryant. I'm one of the head MMA coaches. I got my professor here, Michael Downing. We're here at Aztec, New Mexico at San Jaun Brazilian Jujitsu, and we're a Pedro Sauer affiliate. We got a fairly new move for you guys here today. There's not a whole lot of video out there on this or a whole lot of people teaching it, and we'd like to share it with you. They're basically trying to calling it a leg lace Americana Kimura. I like to call it a ghost omoplata because I set it up off the ghost skate. But let me show you what we're talking about here. So, all right, so we don't have a whole lot of submission options from underneath side position, and I'm going to give you guys one here. Okay, so basically what happens here is a lot of guys are looking for the mount. They're either hip blocking or they're flirting with the legs. So their hands, their elbow or arms already bent in the backward position, basically, kind of is what I'm looking for. So what I do is I hit my ghost escape like I'm going to go for my ghost escape, and I search and find the wrist. Once I do that, I get the material on the sleeve, which is, you can do this no gi or MMA gloves, no gi, wrist control, doesn't matter, okay? So once I do there is I get control of Professor's posture, making sure he's not going to posture up, and I pull his sleeve and his arm underneath him, which is going to be a natural habit and comfortable for him for his arm to be here. So it's going to make it a little bit more sneakier. So what I do from here is I'm going to hip out, and then I'm looking for the nook in his elbow and his bicep, and I'm going to go ahead and get my leg lace, or grapevine is what some people like to call it. And once I get my instep across his forearm, I can hold on to the sleeve and get my submission, but I like to let it go because it gives me more options with my free hand. Okay, so once I let it go, I bring my hand back out and over, and I cup his shoulder, and now I'm just going to switch my hips the opposite way and then get my tap. So I switch, and there's the tap. All right, one more time, I switch, I get the tap. Okay, so a lot of times it just depends on what our opponent's doing or what I like to be, but he may go ahead and swim out and lose a crossface, which is fine. It's actually going to help me out a little bit on blocking his roll if he decided to roll. I try to block it right away by grabbing the belt or the waist to block the first part of the roll if I can. Now, if I feel like he's really strong and he's going to blow his arm out of this hold here, what I do is I bring my leg up and I figure forward, bringing my knee in between his arm and my instep of my foot. Now we're really locked in. Once again, I shift my hip and I get the tap. All right, so once I'm in this position, I can also re-let go and look for something else. And what I usually do is I'm going to take my forearm, I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to go under. Okay, once I do that is I sit up, and once I sit up, we got our dirty wrist lock here with our tap on shifting our hip at the same time. So double submission with the dirty wrist lock in the middle of that. All right, guys? So next scenario, I'm here, and I want to completely block Professor rolling out, and it just depends on where your opponent's instep is and how long your leg is, but a good way to block him from rolling is stepping over his instep, and once I do that, he's locked down. He cannot roll at that point. I shift my hip once again, and I get my tap. Perfect. So say I'm not able to get my leg around his instep, and he goes for the roll. He goes and rolls. We go with him. We keep our instep and our lock in, and we just shift our hips. I grab my underhook, and I get the tap. All right, guys, so that's all we got for you. Hope you guys enjoy it and use it in tournaments and in your dojos around the world. Thank you, guys.